There were seasons in my life when I stood right at the edge of everything I ever dreamed of. I could see the summit, I could taste the breakthrough, and just before I reached it, the cliff gave away. I found myself at the bottom again, bruised, humbled, but never empty handed. Each fall carried the cumulative knowledge of every climb before it. The ascent became familiar, even easier in some ways, yet it always felt like grasping for straw. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Michelle, your inner light coach, and I'm grateful you joined me today. Let's step together through stories, rituals, and reflections. Thank you for shining your presence here. This video is about the sacred work of letting go of what isn't yours. What I didn't understand then was simple and profound. I could not rise while I was still carrying the energetic attachments of others, their doubts, their fears, their insecurities, their unlearned lessons. Growing up, I was the black sheep, the one blamed whether I did it or not, the one easily dismissed, the one who never did anything right. That conditioning became a quiet hum beneath my life. But when I stepped into the world, something different happened. I began to receive awards, promotions, degrees, affirmations from strangers who saw what my own circle refused to acknowledge. Yet, every time I shared good news with the people I cared about, the ones I thought cared about me, they undermined it. Employee of the month meant anyone could get their picture on a wall. Military test scores meant those tests are easy. College degrees meant anyone can get one of those. When patients loved me, it was because they must be senile. When children looked up to me, it was because I manipulated them. I didn't see it then, but I see it clearly now. They needed me to doubt myself so I wouldn't notice I was carrying their baggage along with my own. The inner knowing that my life held something more never left me. They called me weak, not realizing I was carrying the emotional weight of an entire system. And when I finally began to let go, even a little, they feared my strength. I didn't get angry. I didn't fight. I didn't defend myself or explain. I simply set the baggage down and walked away. I stepped into solitude, not as punishment, but as sacred work, a holy separation, a chance to learn self-love without interference. In the quiet, I prayed. I asked God for clarity, for courage, for direction. The serenity prayer hung by my front door. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Each time I read it, it deepened. It became a compass. I moved forward, not perfectly, but steadily, building a foundation that could finally hold the truth of who I was becoming. As I gained momentum, even through trials and deep learning, they panicked. It was no longer about keeping me at their level. It became about placing me beneath them, not gone, but barely breathing. My wake-up call came when they stood right in front of me, saying what they thought I wanted to hear, but I heard the truth between the words. That moment was my awakening, a gift from God. Still, I didn't walk away immediately. In true God fashion, I offered chances, kindness, even hugs. But grace was not enough to change what they refused to learn. Walking away was not an act of cruelty. It was an act of sovereignty. I left them to stand on their own and learn the lessons meant for them, because when you reject your lessons, life becomes harder. I don't want anyone to suffer, but I cannot carry someone else's refusal to grow. Sometimes the most sacred work is the simplest, letting go. Letting go of the familiar, whether person, place, or identity, is never easy, but holding on to what no longer serves your highest truth will cost you your life in the long run. In the isolation, the break of dependence on both sides, I learned how to love from afar. I learned how to love myself. I learned what strength feels like when it isn't performing for anyone else. The clarity, resilience, and independence I gained from this one act of courage became the foundation of my new life. This is the sacred work. This is the letting go. This is the return to self. If you're listening to this and something in your heart is stirring, I want you to know this. You are not alone in this sacred work of letting go. There comes a moment in every life when we realize we've been carrying more than our share. The expectations, the projections, the unhealed stories of others. And when that moment arrives, it isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of awakening. You deserve to stand in your own light. You deserve to breathe without asking permission. You deserve to rise without carrying what was never yours. If you are in a season of release, I honor the courage it takes. Letting go is not abandonment, it is alignment. It is choosing truth over familiarity, peace over performance, and self-love over self-sacrifice. As you walk forward, even if it's slow, even if it's shaky, trust that God meets you in every step. Trust that clarity comes in the quiet. Trust that strength grows in the peace you create. When you finally set that baggage down, remember you are worthy of a life that feels like your own. You are worthy of joy that doesn't require shrinking. You are worthy of love that doesn't ask you to carry its weight. This is your sacred work now. This is your letting go. This is your return to self. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's get back to love. God is good. Love and light to all. Stay thankful. Until next time, walk gently and shine brightly.